podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Hey, Daddy, this a dollar beat.
BoxingVoice.com. No matter what nobody say, man, Spirit can't nobody fuck with me, man. You know, I can't be fucked with, you know.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
Whether you pay to see me win, or you pay to see me lose, you're gonna pay. Fuck it, your kids still gotta eat. I don't have to watch, you know, any footage of a fighter. I mean, because I'm Floyd Mayweather, everybody gotta watch me. I knew eventually I was gonna have to fight Oscar, but I feel like he was straight up and down, no special effects. BoxingVoice.com. How can Canelo have the biggest deal? Your deal is for $300 million, and I made $350 million just in one fight. And you're fighting on an app. BoxingVoice.com. I'm a king, okay? I eat a feast. Every time I eat a feast. And when I get up from the table, I don't give a fuck who get the leftovers. At the end of the day, follow my green print.
Dollar D Beyonce Productions.
BoxingVoice.com.
What up, boxing fans? We are back with another one. Two times, call us 2 times, second time back, and we're talking some breaking news. Or is it just another way to get clicks by an internet website? There is a report, and it's kind of an opinionated article, and it's asking the question to boxing fans, is Fury versus Wilder and Joshua versus Pulev Saudi Arabian double event possible? There's been so much talks of Saudi Arabia and the Middle East and even countries like Macau looking to stage big-time boxing. And the question is being thrown around whether there is enough money in a Fury-Joshua fight to get Fury-Pulev, Wilder-Fury on the same card. It sounds a little bit fantasy to me, but this is what we're going to be talking about. If you're interested, you already know the number to call in, 1-425-569-5241. Press 1 one time to voice your opinion right here on the Voice of the People hotline. Let me head on out to my co-hosts from around the globe.
It's me, Mario.
What up? Yeah, man, I saw this. There was a lot of talks about it last couple nights on Twitter. I think I know where it stems from. So once we start chopping it up, I will give you some, I guess, little nuggets of where I saw different things that lead me to believe a certain way. But yeah, we'll do that after my man Doomy gives us the what's up.
I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Legend of the conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander. I'm the best ever. There's never been anybody like me. I'm Sonny Liston. I'm Jack Dempsey. There's no one like me. I'm from their claw. There's no one that can match.
Champ! What's going on, champs? Yeah, you know this was going to happen in the desert. A lot of space. And if it happens during this time, it's definitely a great place to host a fight. And why not knock them out, right? Knock out, how does the saying go? Two birds, one stone, right? Make it a super epic fight. I mean, record-breaking payday in combination with 2 fights. I mean, it could be a lot of good stuff, but, you know.
Yeah, man. I mean, let's get right into it then. Awkward pause by Doomy over there. I don't know if the Tigey is biting his ankles under the table.
I was waiting for you to jump in and shit. Dang.
Nah, listen, I mean, I don't think that there's much to jump in. For me, this is a fairy tale story. Similar to This Morning's, I think that This Morning's is actually a little more realistic because the money is something that is doable. I honestly don't understand how they could put together a fight of this magnitude or these fights of this magnitude. According to the article, they are suggesting that, Bob Arum has revealed that a clash with Fury and Joshua is not the only fight considering offers from the Middle East and beyond. So Bob is in a situation where he is sitting back and receiving offers for multiple fights from different locations. According to him, he's getting these offers brought to him by MTK Global, and then together they decide with everyone what's right. Obviously, whatever offer is brought to them has to be substantial enough to either get Wilder to step aside and Pulev to step aside as well, or what the article was suggesting, just do both fights. Obviously, with COVID, we really can't have any, tickets sold. Is the right thing to take it to the Middle East and do some sort of double main event?
Yeah, they make up.
Listen.
They make up for that gate loss.
Look, I'm going to tell you like this, okay? And I know Caesar over there in Vegas hating on wrestling fans earlier, but there are a lot of correlations between promoting. You can hate on me, but guess who else brought up wrestling and correlated it with boxing? My man Ken Porter on Saturday. So listen, WrestleMania has done that before. You know what I mean? Where there's multiple telecasts in multiple spaces. And to me, that's the only way that this could even get done. Having Joshua and Wilder in separate fights on the same card, it seems impossible. I mean,
Definitely.
Who would agree to be the main event? Who would agree to, there's just so many things to work out. But if Wilder were to have his own main event somewhere else, like the Middle East.
Well, wait a minute.
And Joshua were to have his in Macau or vice versa, that could be done.
Well, Mario, wait a minute. I mean, I think it's obvious that Wilder and Fury are the main event in this card.
I agree. All I'm saying is that I don't think Joshua would agree to fall back. But I fully agree with you.
And
Wilder
I get
Fury
you.
is the main event.
I get you. He wouldn't agree to fall back and be the co-main, so to speak, traditionally. But that's why I led with the word double main event. Now, maybe he'll get turned off by being the traditional co-main event, but you got to understand that if this were to happen, which is far-fetched in itself, the thing is, it would be for the greater good. He would be getting on the undercard to secure his opportunity at Undisputed.
I think AJ's the main. AJ holds the most belts. Hold on, hear me out.
But it's about significance, isn't it? How could AJ's fight, which is versus Pulev, be more important than Wilder Fury?
It's about money. It's about money, not significance. It's about money.
This is true, but I see AJ also being an A side just because he has more belts, and he's already defined that he beat Andy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was no trilogy there, obviously.
Champ, you got it all wrong. He is an A side, but look, there's one card. It's happening in the desert.
Who's the last match?
Either me and Mario are fighting first, or you and Enrique are fighting first. All four of us can't fight first. That's what we're talking about. Not A side, B side. Who's fighting first?
Well, then let me just point it to you this way. It was what I was trying to say is that he's the A side and coming out last. Between them two.
Okay, but does he fight last or does he fight first? That's the question.
Well, that's what I was saying.
What are you?
You took it as A side, like in negotiations. I wasn't talking.
No, I know you're talking about ring walks, coming out first or last. I'm asking you, who fights first? Wilder Fury.
I say that's what I was arguing. AJ is the main event. AJ and Pulev, because he has titles, he has more belts. You know what I mean?
More international exposure. He's
You're
fought
bugging.
there already before.
No, man.
I get
significance. Come on. How do you get that argument?
No. Listen, I get the argument that he's trying to make. I disagree with it, though. I think ultimately Wilder Fury has sparked the intrigue of people's minds. So you have a strong A and a strong B versus Joshua. Look, Pulev's a cool, fighter, and I don't hate the fight, but let's be honest, like, he ain't no Wilder, he ain't no Fury. This is a fight where the main attraction is Joshua, and let's also be honest, the main attraction is if Joshua gets the winner of those two. So this is kind of like blood sport, Jean-Claude Van Damme had the easy route to the title, so he fought first, and my man's his best friend, the wrestler dude, he fought the Asian man, I forgot his name, second, right? And got his ass beat. And so it was like winner take all, but we knew which fight deserved to be first and which fight deserved to be last. The guy who's gonna probably win deserves to be the first fight. The main event deserves to be the fight where you can't really call it. Like, you're giving Wilder a better chance against Fury than you're giving Pulev against Joshua. And to me, that's excitement. That's intriguing. That's enticing. That's a reason to stick around. If Wilder Fury ends, I mean, who's to say that there's some fans that wouldn't just flip through Joshua? Keep checking back. Oh, did he get the knockout? Oh, not yet. Oh, a couple rounds. Well, I'll check it back in a little bit. Like I'm saying, I just think that ultimately you have Joshua fight first, and then guess what? He goes, takes his real quick shower, right? Gets dressed, and then he's sitting ringside. And then it's like, who wins, Fury or Wilder? And he pulls up on him right after the fight. The other way around, you can't. It doesn't work as well. Like Wilder Fury wins it, and then they come out and they're waiting on Joshua to just get his win. Like,
yeah,
it just
Pulev,
doesn't
well. I get it. Pulev is not even the right dance partner to garner that top spot in order, I guess. Like, not the A side negotiation, B side negotiation, but who's the real main event? I get it. There's more.
I got the answer.
I love what you did.
Tag team boxing. No, I'm just playing.
I love what you did, Mario. You explained it perfectly. If you get AJ in and out, let him get his, do his duty with Pulev. He's in the stands. He's available to get into the ring post fight and say, Fury, Wilder, whoever won, I'm next. Perfect scenario. But just to go backwards and make sure that Doomy gets it, Pulev is not on the level of the other card, right? Like, so it's like Wilder, that's popular. Tyson Fury, okay, he's famous. AJ, yep, he's popular. Pulev, not so much. So it's like that fight has to be the opener.
Do you see a problem presenting itself because of that? Between AJ, and
I think it's bigger than AJ. I don't think AJ has a problem. I think there's no money. How do you find enough money to get Wilder versus Fury and AJ versus Pulev in Saudi, in Macau, wherever you want? I mean, 2 fights of that magnitude on the same card is unheard of. So I think it's just a writer, knowing we're on quarantine and we need things to read, and we're doing the same. It's an interesting topic, one to give boxing fans, I guess, some hope and some downtime.
Yeah, and that brings us to the quotes. This is from an article from World Boxing News, and this was Arum exclusively talking to WBN. He said, whether they are offers for a Fury versus Joshua fight, a Fury versus Wilder fight, or a Joshua versus Pulev fight, MTK is talking to people in the Middle East. They are seeing what the offers are out there. Whatever the offers are, MTK will get them, they will sift through them, and they will report back to us all. If we accept one or the other of the offers, we'll be able to start negotiations. So it's exactly like you said, Ness. This is a situation where they're getting the offers. Like, none of this is real in the sense that it's happening, but you're not going to turn down you're not going to turn your nose at these offers. Let people make offers. I said it the other day. If I'm willing to call them and make offers, they'll hear it. It doesn't mean they're going to take me serious. It doesn't mean that they're going to eventually do their due diligence. But if Saudi Arabia has that money, if the Middle East has that money to pay all 4 guys, whether it's for 1 fight and 2 people to step aside, or whether it's 2 fights to happen on the same card, then, we can't just completely, exclude it. We've got to see what takes place. Does it seem likely? No, but we're in the stage of the offers, and that's it. So, it is what it is.
Yo, George Foster, one of our Patreons, says, in a perfect world, the fights in Saudi would be Fury versus AJ and Wilder versus Pulev, with the latter fight going to face Fury after he KOs AJ. I just don't see how you take Wilder out of his fight with more significance and put him in with a fight with Pulev and he be okay.
Pulev ain't having that shit either.
Nah, I don't think. Yeah, because Pulev's got a chance to, at some point, eventually, possibly face the unified champion. If not, at least AJ for multiple titles, as opposed to going and fighting Wilder. It does wonders for your name if you beat him, which you probably won't. So then it's like, would you rather lose against a guy who's going to go on to bigger and better things, or would you rather lose to a guy with all the titles and you took your shot? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a bad move for Pulev and for Wilder, to be honest with you.
Shout out to Shiloh, says it would be the WrestleMania of boxing. That is true.
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Hell
obviously,
yeah,
to be true to the word WrestleMania, they would need at least another 3 more fights that are nice caliber. But he's got a point there. You know, this is not a bad angle, and this is kind of what we were talking about this morning. You know what I mean? If you're gonna come out of this lockdown, this quarantine, and boxing is desperate, give them something big that they'll be willing to spend their money on.
I don't know, but again, you said it was like a fantasy. It's like a fantasy, man.
It is. I just think it's a lot of money.
Incredible amount of money, right?
Exactly.
It's just what offer? Like $400 million for hosting the.
Wasn't it John Fury that said that they needed to give them like $300 million each or something? I think he said $400 million. I don't know, something big, but John Fury wanted a lot of money, and that was only for AJ and Fury. So imagine adding 2 more fighters kind of on that caliber, right below that caliber, or at least tax bracket.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. And that's why, again, is it fantasy? Sure. But for the argument's sake, how could something like this be done? I think a multi-cast broadcast would be, or multi-site broadcast rather, would be the best way to do it, because each fight would be its own main event. Now, of course, one of them is going to have to be broadcast first, okay, if you're going to do it that way. But ultimately, these guys get to have their own cards with their own undercards. Each promoter is going to get to put on whatever card they want fully, right? And still, they reap the benefits of having these guys on the same card and letting the world see them all. And then it almost is like a mini tournament, right? Where, I mean, everybody's going to be dying to see the winners fight, and let's call it the way it is. Everybody's going to be dying to see Joshua fight the winner. So you have them on the same card and separate it. I think that's the best route if they wanted to try to get something like this done.
So George Foster doubled back with the Pulev Wilder thing. And he's like, look, Wilder needs a tune-up. Give him 10 mil plus Pulev. Guarantee him a shot at the winner on the undercard of Fury AJ. And from a boxing fan's perspective, wouldn't the offer be healthier if you can commit to the Saudis that you will give them Fury AJ first? Undisputed first, right? Like, if you're telling them, look, man, you can't get Fury AJ till you pay for Wilder Fury, maybe they're a little more reluctant. But if you're like, look, you want Fury AJ, cool, but you got to pay for Wilder versus Pulev on the undercard.
Yeah, and if they're willing to give him that much money for Pulev fight, that to me, as a fan, as a human being who understands the value of money, that's a pretty big paycheck to fight someone like Pulev, who I don't think Wilder has any troubles putting him away. But there has to be that security of knowing that we're not going to get any BS from AJ's camp. We're not going to get any BS from Fury's camp. And I don't think we'd get any from Fury. But the problems with those negotiations have gotten so out of hand over the past few years that they're going to be going into it very, very reluctant. With trying to protect themselves in all angles, which is absolutely the route to do. So that's why I think to just avoid it, the best route now is Wilder Fury. Let them settle it. They had the 3rd fight in the contract. Let them settle it. At the end of the day, it does nothing but push back the Fury Joshua fight. And I'm not hating on the man Joshua, because I think that every party was guilty of something during those negotiations. But let's be honest, like if Joshua really wanted to be, Fury in this situation, then he should have fought Wilder a long time ago. And I'm not saying that he should pay for it, but at the same time, closed mouths don't get fed, right? That's the saying. And so he's got to take that time. And at first I was against the Wilder Fury fight happening. I wanted Joshua Fury first, and I still would rather have that first. But for me, Wilder's getting enough time where I don't know if he needs the tune-up. It would probably be beneficial to a certain extent, but I don't know if he needs it.
Look, it sounds good. It sounds good for him, get the tune-up and all that. But doesn't, like, pride kind of, an ego get in the way of that too? Like, I'm not fighting under your main event. What you mean You're the main event? Like, I'm the main event. Like, I see a lot of that shit going back and forth.
That's got to exist, but someone's got to sit him down and say, listen, man, this is $10 million for you to get back in the swing of things. And the exposure of being on the biggest card in the last 20 years. When's the last time someone's been undisputed in the heavyweight division? You're going to get the exposure of being attached to it regardless. People have to write articles saying that you're contractually obligated, that you're going to be on the undercard, that this is unprecedented. People are going to think of you as a bigger man, accepting to be on the undercard of an unprecedented fight, of a history-making fight. You'll be part of history. It has to be bigger than, Wilder won't accept it, his ego. Like, come on. At some point, people need to start thinking about the future and their bank account.
Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, Wilder getting $10 million to fight Pulev and then getting the winner of Fury Joshua gets him the most amount of money. For him to go into the Fury fight right away, and for argument's sake, he loses, would he get $10 million to fight a Pulev in his comeback fight? I'm not sure. So this is the way to maximize your profits in a sense, because you get that $10 million to fight Pulev, and then you get an all-time career high payday against the winner of Joshua Fury.
Pulev, how much money does Pulev get? 'Cause Pulev is like the question mark in all this.
Actually, the question mark isn't Pulev. That was a listener that put $10 million. I don't know that the $10 million is enough for Wilder to step aside. Not saying $10 million as a step aside fee. I'm saying $10
million to step aside to fight Pulev.
Exactly. I'm saying I don't think that $10 million is enough to step aside to fight Pulev when you just made 20 for Brazil, 14 for Fury,
that's a good point.
And then another 25. Like, you just gonna be like, get the freak out of here. I'll just wait.
So how much do you pay Pulev? Because if Pulev's confidence is high that he can really take the belts from AJ, and he's super confident, you're going to have to give him a hell of a lot of money, because if Pulev beats AJ, that is going to be the disruption. That's going to be not an Andy Ruiz type of win, but it's going to be a hell of a fucking, like, whoa, like what? So, like how much money we giving him? Because there's a $10 million, right?
I don't know that Pulev is worth any more than 3 to 5 million.
I don't even know.
Worth and leverage is a little different. So
that's true.
Leverage is I don't want to step aside. Give him 5 to 7 million, maybe. Like, come on, bro. We can't get crazy.
In my introduction, I said that I've seen things on Twitter and in interviews that have kind of pieced together this whole thing for me personally. And one of those things that I've gotten over the past few weeks is that Bob Arum seems very confident that Pulev is no hurdle. It seems like he has, I'm not going to say Pulev under his thumb or anything like that, but I think that he knows what to say to Pulev. I think that they've probably even already had conversations about what would happen if he weren't able to get that Joshua fight right away. So I don't think Pulev is an issue. I think that Bob can more than handle that situation based on experience and based on the fact that it's like, look, bro, you want to fight Joshua? He could easily just surpass you. Okay. But you want to be in a situation where you could fight the winner of a major heavyweight title that ultimately leads to an undisputed. That's a big deal, and
Nah,
that's
man,
a big bargaining chip.
I
Yeah,
think
but
you're
we
right.
all know that Pulev sees Deontay Wilder as a bigger threat than AJ. AJ's the one, even though Wilder got knocked down and he got beat up by Tyson Fury. A lot of people still see AJ as suspect, chinny.
Vulnerable, yeah.
Vulnerable. Wilder took an ass whooping. That's the difference with him. He took
To
an
the
ass.
best heavyweight in the world.
Yeah. He got beat on pretty good. My man just got hit with a shot and he just couldn't hang. So like, I know Pulev is a heavier guy too. So,
Yeah, man. We would have to see. I know that and this is why I said it's fantasy, because there's so many moving parts here, But the good thing is that all parties have signed an NDA. So that's important to say, right? Because it's like, this is real. There are real deal negotiations. Are they going to be as optimistic as our, show? Maybe not. But there is some optimism in the conversation when everyone is signing an NDA. This means that MTK Global is most definitely bringing offers back. Are they substantial enough? That's another argument. But this is real. The fact that Wilder, Fury, Joshua, Pulev all on the same card. Now that's a bit of fantasy, but there is real interest from the Middle East
to host. Hosting Fury and Wilder at Middle East. Yeah, definitely. I think that's the one that can be done the quickest, because it's already on paper. It's already was supposed to happen. So that to me would probably be the one that would really, really like manifest itself before any of the other ones would.
Now, this is just my opinion, but this again goes back to my introduction and talking about what I've seen and what I've heard that leads me to believe certain things. Again, just my opinion. I don't think the Middle East is as interested in Wilder Fury as they are Joshua Fury. I do believe, however, based on what Arum has said, that there is international interest in Fury Wilder, whether that be in Macau or whether that be, anywhere else really, other than the UK and America. I think that there is international interest in the Fury Wilder fight, but when it comes to the Middle East specifically, I'm willing to bet, based on what Arum has said, that MTK is receiving offers with the idea of Joshua Fury being that fight that they land first, and that obviously takes on a whole different dynamic with Wilder. So that's why it's unrealistic to me, but at the end of the day, it's still about receiving those offers, like Ness said.
Yeah, man. Let's open up these phone lines, get a few callers in, and see if we can't get some conversation going on this. Real quick, a word from the sponsors. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button, as it helps with the visibility of the show.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
These calls are brought to you by El Camino Electrical Services, experts in electric vehicle charging stations. For consultations and turnkey installation, visit us at elcaminoelectricalservices.com.
Going out to New Jersey.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean.
Talk to us.
Damn.
All right, we're going to Trey in the Bay. Talk to me.
Oh, my bad, fella.
Oh, there you go. What up?
Nah, my bad, man. I was so excited, man. Like, cause me and Doomy was talking about this. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. Not just the like they got to give them a flat fee for the step aside, and then like say they gave them 7 to 10 for the step aside, then gave them, I don't know, like you said, somebody pulled this number out the air. So then the 10 mil, let's say 10 mil for the fight with Pulev. So that's 17. I don't know, that's not bad. That's not bad because I think you need that confidence builder. You need something to make you feel good. And if he walked through Pulev and make it to the winner of Fury and Joshua, it should be exciting, man. That's my call, man. Enjoy that, man. Y'all niggas coughing.
That's Ness back there.
I mean, thanks for calling in, bro. We going out to Trey in the Bay. Talk to us.
What up, y'all? Shit, I caught a little bit of the show. I came in at the end. Y'all saying AJ and Pulev? I mean Wilder, Pulev, and AJ Fury. Is that the dream?
It's been a few things mixed around, but I mean the only facts are that Saudi Arabia is interested in hosting Fury AJ. And the author of this article is, I guess, posing that if they want Fury AJ so bad, do Fury Wilder and AJ Pulev to get Fury AJ.
I guess, shit, if they gonna pay Wilder to take a tune-up, why not?
Well, I mean, it won't be a tune-up, and it would be Fury. He would be having to face Fury. We're just saying hypotheticals.
Oh, he'll face Fury. I thought it was Pulev, Wilder, and then AJ and Fury on the main card, and Wilder gets the winner, and then we'll have undisputed, and we'll get one of the big fights that we want.
Well, that was a recommendation from one of the listeners, which also sounds good. If you could get Fury and AJ, and then get Wilder to get a tune-up with Pulev for a decent amount of money, it makes sense as long as the contract states that the winner could get back.
Right, and then shit. What about rematch clauses, right? Because AJ gonna have a rematch. That's a rabbit hole.
Yeah. That's something we didn't even talk about. Like, isn't Fury and AJ gonna want a rematch clause? Like
two-way.
Yeah, two-way.
So okay, so the only way that would be possible, right, is no rematch clauses for the undisputed guys, and Wilder takes the winner, and maybe they can go ahead and just start mixing up the big three anyway, right? And somewhere we could throw Dillian White ugly ass in there so somebody can finally shut him up. And shit, Ruiz too, right? Some of the top guys. It'd be nice for them dudes to just start mixing it up. Fuck the belts, man. Y'all niggas just start mixing it up. That's my call.
Let me tell you, I mean, again, if it was like this morning show where these guys decided to do a co-promotion and, come together, then it could make some sense. They can, mix and match and throw some names on there, but that only increases the purse. I think that right now, I seen the chat, and John Fury was saying something like he wanted $500 million for them to split. So that's like something like 250 million each.
Yeah.
Good God.
So that's a lot of money right there. Now you got to pay Pulev and Wilder. I just, and obviously that's cheek and tongue for John Fury. He's not, MTK Global. He's just throwing out there what he feels his son should take if he goes all the way to Saudi. But let me get to Detroit's own. Stainless, what's going on, brother?
Red belt, black belt, WO and green. I'm king. Undisputed GOAT, TBE. And you can catch the news first on TBV. Voice of the people now let me speak. Scientists of the sweet, BOXING.
Yo, TBV, what's good?
What up?
Chilling.
Yo, y'all can hear me? Because I'm about to start going through mountains, so I know I'm going to cut out soon. So we saying they still trying to make the Fury AJ fight. Is that what's going on? I'm kind of confused.
Yeah. Well, the right now, what we know for a fact is that MTK Global is fielding offers from the Middle East and other international potential investors to host
other territories,
other territories to host some version of the heavyweight title, whether it be Joshua Fury or Fury Wilder. They're right now getting offers for all these fights. We are simply stating that there is, some sort of, is there a world where those two fights can happen on the same card? We obviously know that's fairy tale, but we're chopping it up.
Now the whole fantasy though of them putting it together, it's just counterproductive to each other. You put two main fights like that you could get more. You just get way more than
but it's like what Bob told us last week on the show. Look, if the Saudis want to pump more oil, let them pump more oil. So if they want to pay, let them pay. Can Bob put on two separate main events? Like, can he do Fury Wilder and AJ and Eddie go do Pulev? Of course. But if the Saudis is going to take that trouble out of your hands and pay you for it, of course he's going to do it.
Yeah, and they're into spending that money right now. Like, let's not forget what this is all about. This is a territory that is very, very, that the world is critical of. Okay, and what they've been trying to do over the last decade and a half, starting with the UFC and WWE and boxing, they've tried to get events that will, I guess, like soften their image or commercialize their image more. So they're paying these promoters big time money. UFC got, they got a bag for hosting that first UFC, and I think it was Saudi Arabia, maybe it was somewhere else. And then, wrestling, same thing. They got a bunch of money for Saudi Arabia. So if they got the money to do it, again, it comes down to fielding offers. So, that's what it's all about.
You really think
Mike Thompson is saying, keep in mind that oil is at a record low right now.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's like 18.
That's such an important point because y'all got to understand. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying gas is cheap around our way. It's under $2, but not much. No. It's like $1.95, $1.93.
And we're getting furloughed over here where we have refineries. So listen, this is a very important negotiation because this represents the upper tier of getting paid in boxing. If these guys come back with a different number, a lower number than we're used to, based off of economics, based off of what money is realistic these days, that set the precedent for everyone else. You know what I'm saying? If you know that Joshua Fury or Fury Wilder can get X amount of money, well, that's the upper level, top tier. Yeah. So if they drop that price and it doesn't get as much as they used or that they expected, then everybody else falls in line. This is a very important negotiation.
This is a small little time, bro. Saudi got that old money, got that gold bar, gold coin money. Listen, this is right now, the oil is low, and that's true. Big up to Mike. But they got pockets that are so deep, bro. They could easily go into their piggy bank and throw out, some more money. So they've been making oil money for generations already. It's just ridiculous amount of money that they have. The wealth. I mean, you could Google this stuff, the amount of money that those families have. It can happen. It just really falls down to what it means to them. Why are we, gonna pay for this fight? What is it doing for our country? What are we doing for the world? What does it represent?
Well, remember, Saudi's trying to become the new Las Vegas.
Shinobi.
Well, I thought you was asking a question. Like, what does it mean? Well, what it means for them is obviously it's going to take their attention off of, they suffer like a lot of shit for civil rights. And then they're also going to get the attention they want. Hey, this is a tourist place. Look at the type of attractions we're putting on. Look at the fights that we're bringing. David Guetta was here and Rihanna was here and we had this tour and that tour. Now we got big time boxing. They just want it to be Las Vegas on steroids. That being said,
that's exactly what they want.
Let me give you some audio from both Barry Hearn and Bob Arum. Arum up first.
And it may be that we do, that Eddie does Joshua Pulev with us, and we do Wilder and Fury with PBC, and then have winners of both fights fight sometime next year, or work out some arrangement where a Fury Joshua fight can take place this year.
And the only way that's happening this year is substantial offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, though. Going back to that point, the Saudis the prince was accused of having an American journalist murdered. That they're still not over the backlash for that. And the WWE suffered backlash for it. Anybody who's reached out at this point and is taking that money, there's a backlash. But at the end of the day, if they are able to put these fights on and they have that old money to do so, then it does multiple things. One, it gives us what we want. Right? It gives us something we didn't even think was possible for all four of these men to be on the same card. But the other thing it does is it keeps that precedent higher. We don't have to lean on the excuse that, oh, well, the economy's bad, so these fighters can't get paid. And I'm not saying that's a bad excuse, because it could be absolutely true. But let's be honest, this is boxing. How many of those promoters out there would be telling their fighter, well, they're not getting the same money and blah, blah, and try to take off more on their end? You know what I mean? We just don't know. These guys got to get paid what they're worth. But at the end of the day, worth has taken on a new meaning in today's economy.
Sure has, man. It's just not what it used to be. These guys are worth more now. And, even though they're worth more, it's like you said, today's economy, COVID, post-COVID, what is it going to be? And that's why I think this is the best option, is taking that, money from another territory. But let me get to Keem in Florida. What up, champ?
El gran campeón puertorriqueño,
You got any excuses tonight, Roy? Let's not ask questions like that. Let's touch gloves and go to work. Tonight, Roy. Let's go to work.
Keem, what up? Oh, all right. Let's see. I know, JT, you just jumped on, so I don't know. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go, man.
All right. I didn't know if you was listening or not, but then we're going to New Orleans, man. Let's get to JT.
So interesting that you come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, that comment. Come on. That was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. We're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'm killing this mother. Why do you have to talk like that?
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
Yeah, what's up, Ness? What's up, man?
What up?
Yeah, Mario on here?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Mario, you was talking about J&J Promotions earlier this morning, huh? I was informed that.
I was, brother. I got your man set up for Saturday. I think y'all put him in a little too early, but I'm not gonna tell y'all how to do business.
Put some respect on J&J Promotions' name, man, when you talk about us. You hear me? But nah, bro. I'm just jumping on though. But what's the topic about, Ness? I'm just jumping on, man.
I ain't helping you, man. You terrible, man.
Come, yeah, man. I'm just jumping on, man. I was just driving, man. I had to go pick up my son. So, yeah. What's the topic, Ness?
We talking about MTK right now officially fielding offers from the Middle East for fights involving Fury Joshua, Fury Wilder, Joshua Pulev, and whether or not all four of those two matchups could end up on the same card theoretically.
Oh, shit, that must be a lot of fucking money to be doing that.
Yes.
Shit, if they put both of them, that's two main events on one night. So, I mean, you get a back-to-back. So, I mean, it can be done. But, I mean, if the money is right, I think anybody that dance to the beat is the money, right? So, yeah, I mean, most definitely. Then they help from overseas to help us out. You know. But that's all.
That's all.
All right,
Yo,
man. I'm gonna
yo,
just be
put
listening.
some respect on East Coast promotions, bro. I seen you on the chat with your French toast.
French toast. What the hell? Yo, but go ahead. Oh. So
I'm good.
yeah,
Yo.
man, it is far fetched, man. Everybody's like, what? What? It sounds like a WrestleMania. It ain't no joke, man. But that is all the callers, man. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. Want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget you can hit the thumbs up in the future, present, past. It still helps with the visibility. You want more exclusive content, we over at patreon.com/The Boxing Voice. Come check us out. NestGTO, Instagram, and Twitter.
Catch me on IG, Alex_Doomsday_LAINEZ. On Twitter, AlexLinusTBB. Cheers!
At Maury Mungia on Twitter, at Maury Mungia on Instagram. Peace.
Hold up. We got a little counterpunch from JT.
Yeah, Alex, what you talking about? Put some respect on your promotion with some French toast. What you referring to?
Nah, I heard on the chat, y'all was trying to clown East Coast promotions, talking about French toast promotions. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have to tell y'all what J and J really mean. Joke and joke promotion.
So that just show y'all how little y'all is to us since you bringing it up. I never even heard of that company, East Coast. So
I mean,
that's all I got
Saturday,
on
man. Saturday, that's when you going to hear.
Don't worry, you're going to hear about it. You're going to hear about it on Saturday.
Your ears only need to work on Saturday, champ.
I got you. What time?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. on the
I'll
dot.
try to be up. All right.
He ain't even gonna show
He's
up.
not gonna show up
He ain't
to
even
another
gonna
one of
show up to his own fighters. Oh man,
He gonna be
Izzy.
like Achilles.
Man.
Hey Izzy, man,
Yo,
Izzy, you already know where you gotta come, Izzy. I'm telling
he
you.
told me to put respect on there. I respect them as a very, very much as a slaughterhouse industry.
Yo.
You know, serving their lambs to slaughter. They are very good at it.
Bruh, he just called Izzy an opener. He like, man, I'll see if I can get up. Let me go to Brandon in Cincinnati.
What's good, y'all?
Damn, you in the mountains, champ?
Nah, I just hopped on. What's the topic? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound better.
Nah, I'm talking shit. I'm acting like JT, always hopping on without knowing the topic. But man,
He trying to earn that call of the year for sure now. Oh man, he still got bad service. I thought that was part of the act.
He's getting cut up.
I thought that was part of the act. It's really
Can you
bad
hear
service. Now we can.
can you? Yeah, that shit ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, champ.
You sound like Verizon.
Yeah.
And then the Sprint guy that went to Verizon, or vice versa.
For real. He gonna have to get some new service or get up off the mountains, man. Be safe on the road though, Brandon. Let me double check if anybody else hopped on. Looking like
There be some dead zones in them truck routes, right? It be some states, man.
hell
It's
yeah,
just
bro.
nothing.
Mountains, man. Them roads, them open roads, no towers out there. Majid, what up? Orlando.
What up? I learned how to use Patreon. My brain just started working, so I got that shit. It wasn't you, Ness. It was me. But I just read it or whatever. That you talking about the double fight in Saudi Arabia?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm a dreamer when it comes to fights because I just be wanting stuff to happen, man. I would love for it to happen. I don't know how they could make it work, man. But if it was something that they could get popping, I'd love to see it. I missed out on most of the show, so I don't know the details. But shit, just reading it, I'll be with it because I'd rather the fight happen.
Would you pay $100 for it, bro?
Yeah, I'll throw $120. If it's worth it, if we could have fun, if everybody could group up and have a good night, I'm just about having the fights and getting them so we could talk about what happened, not arguing about why it didn't happen, so I'll be with it. As long as these fights happen, I'm paying.
I see. That's one of the voices right there. I ain't worried about it.
Yeah, nah. Wow, he busted the pay-per-view price though. We never went above 100. He said 120. And you know what?
We ever seen something like
I'm
this?
not cheap. I'm not cheap either. So I'll say 120. If you really gonna get Wilder Fury, AJ on the undercard, because it ain't Pulev. It ain't got nothing to do with Pulev. Pulev, he's nothing.
Next, we got lids low at 404.
Okay. So yeah, if you could really get something of that caliber, hell yeah, I'm willing to do 120. I mean, I wish we would have stood at 100. You know what I mean? Floyd already took us to 100, but to have the top 3 of any division, I mean, obviously when you're talking to me, the heavier the better. But the top 3 of any division on the same card, that's pretty dope. Especially they facing each other, right? Like at least 2 of the 3 are fighting each other. That would be beautiful. Decatur, Georgia, talk to me. We thought we was going somewhere.
What's happening, fellas? What's happening?
What up?
Shout out to Baldy. I mean, hey, so I'm gonna spruce it up a little bit more then. So why don't we just throw 3 more championship fights in there? Let's say Lomo and Teofimo, goddamn Shakur and Gary, and then pick your third fight, as long as it's a championship fight. And then since Saudi Arabia got the money like that, go on and make it like a big ass thing. You dig? Just spend a lot of money. Since this seemed to be what it's about, and that's cool. Everybody get a check. Just go on and put 3 more championship fights with it, and just call it a big ass bash. That my call. I'm out.
It's the WrestleMania.
That would be a WrestleMania for sure.
No, but if they
how many pay-per-view buys are we looking? I'm sorry, how many pay-per-view buys are we looking at for this to I mean, we all know that our friends in Saudi Arabia got the guap, but we need some money coming back. Like, how many pay-per-view buys at $100 makes this okay for them to be able to throw $400 million or $500 million or whatever it may be to make this thing happen? Like, what are we selling? I mean, 800,000 buys.
Well, remember, it's not about pay-per-view buys because this is going to be in Saudi Arabia. They not worried about money. This is advertisement dollars to them. They trying to get attention on their country versus negative attention on their country. Remember, they didn't. You think they made their money back with Andy Ruiz and AJ? How? They only had 15,000 seats. How?
No, that was gate money, right? That's quote unquote gate money.
Yeah, but DAZN was paying more if the fight was in America. So DAZN didn't pay the princes. Like, the princes just put up the money, dog. When you
sanctioning fees, right? Or the site fee. I'm sorry.
But that's what I'm saying. The princes, how they made that site fee money back?
Well, it wasn't a pay-per-view, right? Was it?
No, because the prince has nothing to do with DAZN. He gets nothing from DAZN.
He's just a host.
He's just bringing it. That's what I'm telling you. They just throwing money away. They didn't make the AJ money back. How they made it back? Someone please explain, because it wasn't on ticket sales alone.
I don't know what type of negotiations. I wasn't really
TV. Are you talking about the prince, or are you talking about the investors?
Well, it was Prince Khalid and I don't know what is it? Skill Challenge is the name of the company.
Yeah.
Okay, so they lost their money. No, know, it's funny that we get so many of these shows and articles about PBC losing money, but someone just, hypothetically explain how they recouped off of giving AJ and Andy that huge site fee when they don't get a broadcaster fee. They don't have anything to do with DAZN or Showtime or not even Sky Sports, who sold pay-per-view on that in the UK. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't.
So you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But the thing that you have to understand too, it goes back to, you already made the point. You've already answered your own question. For them, the recoup, and I'm talking about the prince, I'm talking about the country, is becoming more like Vegas. The more attractions they have that they can put under their belt, the more they feel like they're doing their part to change the narrative of the country and what it represents. They want to be that tourist site. And the more big events they get,
This
and
is
so
marketing dollars. And if they can get an event out of it, okay. But their goal is to change the perception of the country.
exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? They don't give a fuck,
Yo, they ain't worried about ticket sales. They're worried about people coming to their casinos and their hotels long term.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's really what they want. That's how they try to recoup their money.
Let me give
from
you an
that
example.
sense.
This is
Oh
Atlantic
snap!
City.
They want to make it to Las Vegas.
This is oh my god, bro, get off the butt. My man just said that. We said that 20, 30 minutes ago that they trying to make this the new Las Vegas. But this is the real example. Remember Atlantic City when Mike was popping? Mike Tyson? They tried to be Vegas, but it's too cold in Atlantic City, New Jersey. So it's got the Four Seasons down there. In the winter, who wants to be on the shore? You know what I mean? So this is their opportunity to be the new Atlantic City, the new Las Vegas.
Yeah, but the new Las Vegas, you didn't let me finish. It was the new Las Vegas, but not what you guys were just talking about, but the new Las Vegas in that region. You know what I'm saying? Because you got to understand that people are not going to be just soaring from America all the way, 20-hour flight all the way to go watch the fight in the new Las Vegas. I think that region is what's going to kick off.
They're catering to their area. I mean, if they get a few Americans, okay, but Macau is no different. You think Macau made the Venetian Hotel where Bob Arum brought Manny Pacquiao and Zeus Shimming over there expecting Americans, or they made it thinking of their demographic? And then they happen to get a Manny Pacquiao and a Zeus Shimming fight. And this is what this is all over again. It's no different.
I like it.
Yeah, because ultimately, it's like they want to be the Vegas for the people that, instead of having people in their area and nearby countries take that, 8-hour flight to Vegas or whatever it is, they want to be able to be that one-stop shop like Vegas that's much closer. They want to be a true alternative because they feel like they're losing those dollars. Vegas, people travel all over the world to go to Vegas because of that reputation of it being, the ultimate tourist destination for what it is. And if they can create that sort of ambiance, if they can create that sort of reputation, then, they become a true alternative.
Listen, this is the place that's going to be able to make fights happen in the times we're living right now, in my belief. Whether this is like post or, during the times, I don't know what they were talking about, exactly, if it was after or not. But if they were able to make just one of these fights, I'm not even asking for all four right now, but if we could get one of these fights made out there, during these times where, we're stuck inside and stuff and, fights are not going on, that'd be awesome. And Saudi has the space, it's hot, COVID dies, in a certain temperature there, so they've been saying. So it's something to look forward to. Obviously the WrestleMania fantasy that looks good and sounds good, that's just speculation. All of that just doesn't happen. It's just not. You're wasting fights from a promoter standpoint, instead of just making them individual fights and garnering as much as you can individual. There's only so much.
Yeah, but it's
can
like
combine.
you said, it's different times. Economically, we're in a different place. So if you can get a different country to offer you a bunch of money that you couldn't otherwise get in America because of COVID-19, you gotta, like Bob said in the quotes, you gotta at least check these offers out. Let me get to Juan in the BX. Juan, what it do?
Finally, TVB is back on YouTube. Yo, what's good, fellas? Yo, I was the one that put that shit on the chat. I'm Shiloh23 and shit with that WrestleMania. Because definitely it has to be worth more than $1. To have all three of them, like you said, shit, that's big. It don't matter who comes first, second, last. Even though obviously it has to be Fury and Wilder, but yeah, that'll be a huge ass event. That's some real talk, because I know for a fact those people got money over there, billions, trillions, whatever they carry and shit, and they threw one fight, and knowing we have nothing going on right now, they definitely gonna throw something big. I mean, I hope it happens. If it doesn't, then whatever we takes, we gets. Whatever we gets, we take. Whatever. I think I will. That's all I got, people. I'm playing Call of Duty too.
All right, Shiloh. And, thanks for calling in. Now we've definitely gotten to everybody, so we are gonna leave. We almost pump faked. You know, we definitely pump faked. We thought we was out, and then we got a couple callers came in. So yeah, man. We already gave outros. I guess catch us on the next one every day at 9 a.m. Eastern on Patreon.com/The Boxing Voice. Peace.
Adios.